Hey guys, this is So and Jay. We're going to be talking about how to trade a weekend fractal. This is part 6 of our series on OTP, looking at order flow, time, and price. What's up, Jay?
That's good. Let's get straight to it, bro.
Let's get it. Okay, so guys, why do weekends behave differently? Well, firstly, it comes down to volume. On weekends, volume is much lower. There's much less liquidity on the market, and this can clearly be seen on the order book. This can cause the price to be easily manipulated or for it to just chop through the weekend due to low participation. Now, guys, this is seen on Saturdays, right? If you go on the chart, you look at Saturdays, so many days, it's just complete chop. No expansion, no nothing. Just chopping the entire day.
Yeah, you'll
Okay,
get a very balanced day usually, or a normal day on a Saturday as far as profile shape goes, right?
yeah, exactly. Because it's just basically just a normal profile shape. It just complete accumulate, not even accumulation necessarily, but
Yeah, just
from
bouncing around the
yeah,
edges of the profile and just, focusing around POC.
exactly. Okay, participation. But guys, due to this change in participation, the market will move differently too. Guys, many times we will see manipulative moves happening on Sunday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons we actually don't recommend you guys to trade Sundays is because of these manipulative moves. Now,
Well,
that guys, this is just for
well,
beginners,
it's
right?
like the weekend for beginners, guys, is I really say avoid it, right? Until you can, if you can trade a week, just the regular weekday, Monday through Thursday, just weekly, fractal setup, perfectly fine. Then, you can kind of work up to, risk some R's on the weekend. But even me, I only risk half R, right, on the weekend. And I always teach my students to only risk half on the weekend. Since again, probability is lower. No matter what you're gonna do, no matter how good the setup looks, the probability is just much lower, right? Since it's literally the closing of the week. Like that's the auction time running out, right? And we're about to, quite literally end the auction and start a whole new weekly auction, right? So you can catch good moves on Sunday. Don't get this twisted, guys. But it's just if you do not know what you're looking for, it can be very difficult, right? And
Exactly.
Sunday close is the most important data of the weekly close for crypto because that is how I can forecast how Monday range could form for me to even, kind of forecast on how the next week will go on. And I'll show you guys examples on that later. Keep
Yeah,
going, son.
exactly. And we're actually going to be talking about Sunday as well at the end of the slideshow. But yeah, okay. The weekend fractal. Guys, we understand the week and the weekend fractal, right? So you can call this the weekday and the weekend fractal if that makes it more like easier for you guys to understand. But guys, these are two separate sequences. The weekend fractal, just like the weekday fractal, has its own sequence. As generally for almost all fractals, we use open low high close, open low, open high low close, and open low high close, right? We can use this for weekdays, for the monthly, for the yearly, for the quarters, everything, right? And this is a sequence that we use. But when it comes to weekend and other um three fractal types, we use setup, trap, expand. And this is from Friday to Sunday. So the weekday is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the weekend is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're
Yes.
going to use this with the understanding of open low high and open high low. So if Friday does open, Saturday does low, we can expect high for Sunday, or open by Friday, high by Saturday, and low by Sunday. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and also, guys, the weekend fractal also again is set up, trap, and expand because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that all fractal together now, four fractal plus three, that makes up your 7-day candle fractal, which is your crypto fractal, right? It's running 24/7 all week. So it's not stopping. So we have to use different fractal to go, about that, right? And most people don't understand it. So they just trade whenever, wherever, not understanding any fractal of where we are, what week we're in, what month we're in, what fractal we're in the quarter, right? Those things are very important to gain context in the market.
Yeah, guys, like the average person, retail, they will contextualize the market from a time perspective with their time frames: 15-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame, 1 hour, 4 hours, 6 hour, whatever it is.
It's not even they will do that. So it's more so again, it comes down to the difference of time frame and time fractal. Most
And
people
that's what I was
think,
getting to. Yeah.
yeah, most people think multiple time framing is like, multiple time frame alignment. Yeah, that's cool. Like you guys, always are taught to line the 4 hour with the daily fractal. Make sure, 4 hour level has to line with your daily level. That's not what we're talking about here. That's whole different. That's structure and that's time frame. What we're talking about here is time, fractal of that time, not the, you know what I'm saying, not the shape of the candle of that time frame. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's a whole different view of layering time, right? We're not using time frames, we're using time fractals to see the 3D. The time frame is 2D. You see what I'm saying? Time fractal is the 3D where you can now incorporate with our system of understanding where, when, and who is in control.
Exactly. Perfectly said. Okay, let's go over understanding setup traffic span. Okay, guys, so the S stands for setup. This is the initial range, which is similar to the Monday range, right? This is on a Friday, and sometimes catching this move will allow you to catch the continuation on Sunday. So if you long on Friday, you might be able to hold it all the way through Sunday. Guys, this doesn't always happen. It's not like it's some high
It's a
probability
right
thing we're saying.
context. It has to line with the context. And of course, if it's the order flow is allowing and the actual, the market auction is accepting and allowing to that happen, then yes, it's high probability those type of things can play out. Yes.
Exactly. So if the sequence on Sunday aligns, then yeah, a lot of times it could be worth leaving a runner. And again, guys, put it in context of value, time, and price. Right? You can't forget those. Secondly, trap. Guys, this is on Saturday. Again, remember how we talked about Saturday is just a lot of chop? A lot of times buyers or sellers are going to be trapped here, right? And so, guys, generally spotting this trap might be a little bit harder due to that chop because you don't get really any like let's say easy to spot moves. And that's another reason why we don't recommend beginners to trade the weekend fractal unless you're bringing down risk and you can really understand what's happening. Finally, expansion. Guys, this is on Sunday and this is where we like expect the final move to occur, right? And again, Sunday can have manipulative moves. So don't expect it to be like some crazy to spot easy just like a very clean move. A lot of times it can be very manipulative. But guys, how do we apply this within OTP? Firstly, with a clear understanding of setup traffic span, the full week fractal can now be traded. So that includes both the weekday fractal and the weekend fractal. And it can be understood from a perspective of time, value, and price. Remember, guys, the weekend fractal is a lower probability fractal. Like Jay said, it's coming closer to the end of the week.
Yeah,
Auction
just
time
like
is
Monday.
running out.
Yeah, it's literally just like Monday, just like the open, guys. And that's why so many traders, like we're taught, hey, don't trade right off the open. But what's the reason? Most people don't know the reason for that. They were just taught to A, avoid the open or wait for the open, right? But most people actually don't know why they're waiting for the open, right? They don't have the context. They were just taught, hey, wait for that time. Same thing as showing up on New York session, right? Why do people show up on New York session just at that time to trade? Because they were taught to. They don't know if that's the third fractal of the day, that which sets in the most volume of the day, like I showed the data with. You see what I'm trying to say? All those things, they're not understanding why that's happening at those times, and they don't even know why they're showing up at that time to trade that. Most people, at least, right? They're showing up because, oh, it's the market open. You get what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah, exactly. And guys, listen, market open, yes, it does bring more liquidity. We're not denying that. We're not saying it's because of, let's say, a clock on the wall, but what we're saying is you have to understand the
the
sequence before
context,
and after.
exactly.
What's
Context of
happening
why you're looking to trade that session, or context of why, in our case, to trade the third 90.
exactly.
Right?
That's perfect.
Because that's the highest probability point of the day and where the most volume comes in. And I have the data for all those things too, right? So we'll show you guys that in a second with the example.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
go ahead.
Maybe we can even put inside the Discord. And you guys should join the Discord, by the way. Completely free. I mean, there's, free resources and everything. This is one of them. But yeah, guys, join up and start asking questions. Okay, so guys, even with understanding, oh wait, I think we're up here. It's better for you to understand it with the context of time, right? But guys, even with understanding OTP and the weekend fractal trading, the weekend again isn't recommended for beginners, right? Guys, listen, as a trader, your goal isn't to only make money, but it's to also preserve capital. So when you can decrease risk while keeping your reward steady, remember risk to reward, this is how, from a statistical perspective, you can become a better asset manager. Because at the end, you have to think about your trading as a business. And if you're a business and you're trying to be the most efficient business, then you might just be like, I will risk less, or I may not even trade the weekend fractal, and
It's
instead just trade the weekday fractal, which is higher probability and easier to understand.
it's like this, so think about it. Just say you're the boss, right? And you
Right.
run a business, right? And then, you want to make sure you have a nice manager that understands everything, right? That can manage all the things, manage the risk, make sure he's getting all the shipment, whatever the case may be, right? And make sure he's writing off the check to the right people, right? You wouldn't just do that to an unreliable person, right? You wouldn't give that job to anybody that can't manage that risk, right? Or
Of
manage
course
that
not.
job. It's the same thing here. If you can't manage risk for yourself, right? As a business, you got to treat it really like a business. That's why So didn't put a good risk managing trader. He said a good, you're gonna become a better asset manager. You gotta see it in that perspective, not you as a just becoming a better trader, right?
Guys, yeah, no, I mean, Jay, bro, you're completely right. Guys, you could be the best trader, 95% win rate,
And
6
have
R,
a
but
poor
if you're,
exactly, and have
but you
no
could lose
discipline.
everything.
Exactly, and
Lose
people
everything.
do,
You
and
need
you
to
guys see
do
that on social
proper
media
risk.
too, right? You guys see that on social media. People make a lot of money and lose it all. But again, why does that happen? It's not the making money that was hard. It's the managing risk that was hard. It's the greed that was hard. It's the mind that was hard. It's not the entry that they took the trade, right? Is not that wasn't the hard part. They clearly was able to make 5 million, but in 3 trades they lost the 5 million. What does that tell you guys? Is he a good trader? Or is he a good or is he a bad asset manager at the end of the day? You see what I'm saying? Then you're just being a poor manager to your business if that is happening.
Exactly. So, bro, I think we went through that very well, and I hope you guys like really write this down and note this. Guys, a lot of times people just want to make money quickly from trading, and
That's not the
you
case,
know,
guys. I've been
and
trying to do this
all of
shit
us
for
have
8
learned
years,
this
man.
the hard way,
Way
right?
hard way.
Jay's like especially Jay. He's
I
been
learn
doing this
every
for eight
day.
years, man.
I fuck up every day, and I'll probably say that, and I'll do better the next day. You know what I'm saying? Still learning every single fucking day, and I've been doing this shit for 8 years, right? Since I'm fucking 20, and I'm about to turn 28, right? So it's like I have made so many mistakes throughout the time. You feel me? So many fucking mistakes out throughout that time that I just know better at this point. But again, you can't gain that if you haven't went through it, right? It's really something that experience, you can't buy that. It's not a game where you can just buy experience and level up. You see what I'm trying to say? Like although
Yeah,
maybe like learning how to trade from somebody that's knowledgeable, yes, that could help you, right? Like how I'm trying to help you guys gain more knowledge, right? But I can feed you this, but will you swallow that? No, no homie. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, can you take that info and actually digest it and then actually produce something with that? I'm giving you guys all my knowledge that I know for free out here, quite literally, right? So like
yeah,
there's people that pays to learn these things, and I'm genuinely, wanting to be open about what I, do, and I show you guys how I trade, right? And understand what I understand. And I'm showing people how I'm changing people to view the market in a different way, not just your regular smart money way, ICT way, trading patterns, this, that, right? But in a complete different way. So you have a 3D view of the context and you understand why you're trading that candle. You're understanding why you're showing up on that day, right? Instead of just showing up every day, clueless, what's today? What am I looking for today? But yeah,
yeah.
go
And
on.
guys, even with your ICT and SMC, whatever you guys use, this is not to replace every single trading concept that you've learned. It's just to add a way of understanding the market.
Yep.
We've
This is
said this at the
context.
start. Time isn't a strategy. It's a
Nope.
way to give context to the market. You can do
Exactly.
it with patterns, with SMC, ICT, with
It's like
momentum
it's
strategies. If it works, do it. But there's other ways of trading as well that incorporate time even more heavily.
It's like what Mr. Dalton says. I don't know if you guys know Jim Dalton. Shout out Mr. Dalton. But from what he teaches, right, is that you really have to understand context and behavior of the market. You see what I'm saying? And if you're missing that, right, that's where you're just looking for entry models, right? You're just looking for breakup structures, fair value gaps, just looking for patterns that reoccurs because you have no context. You're just looking for that because you have no context. And that's why you guys are clueless of where to take the entry. People ask me every single time, right? Jay, where do I take the entry? But I show them every time where to take the entry, at the value, at the time. It's really simple to that point. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Time is there. Time is shifting. We're not gapping up. We're seeing absorption at the value area high. Third 90. What do you do? So you can give me a clear answer if that happens. What will
I mean,
happen?
yeah, I'm gonna take it, man.
Yeah.
What
Where are you gonna
else?
take there? You're gonna take the long or the short. If you see that value area high getting
Of course,
absorbed,
short.
exactly. See, you will know exactly what to do. This is my point. So what is the only thing that you need to do now? Click the short. Is that hard?
No,
Yeah,
entry
exactly.
isn't
But
hard. Yeah,
people get stuck there. They're like, oh, I see this. They won't click the button. And they're like, how do you enter? Bro, click the button after you have everything you have seen. That's how
yeah,
you enter the trade. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's just you guys need to get over that phase. It's a struggling phase of, you're fearful and doubtful, right? But you just have to pull the trigger,
yeah.
right? So like, how did you catch that 50,000 tick trade on the NAS 100? We'll show you guys that in a bit, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just took it, right? I saw it. I'm like, hey, that lines with value. I could take my first TP and put a
and
break even
that
down at
was
the
right on
value area
time too.
low
So
or the value area
it
high.
was at the night session. You know what I'm saying? It was right after the daily open, right off the
Yeah.
value. So that was, again, time and value lined perfectly, giving us that direction. Right.
I mean, Jay, this is
Also,
one of the reasons we even made the OTP series to give it easy way for people to understand this, because this is not easy. Like, right? This is pretty
exactly. This is
advanced.
not an easy thing, guys. So even if we're trying to make it easy as possible for you guys to understand, this is like the narrowest I can dumb it down. Right? We could be speaking way more complex right now, if we were just talking me and so, right? And my, actual students inside of the groups, right? But this is the easiest way. And again, I'll break it down once more for you guys. You guys have to just understand three things at the end, right? When, where, and who. Okay, keep on repeating that to yourself. Before you take any trade, repeat, where are we? Or even before where, understand again, when. When am I even gonna see this fractal? Which fractal am I trading? That's the first step. Before you even do anything. You see what I'm trying to say? Before you even do anything, that should be the first step. And then you find the where, which is the value. Right? And then you will see who is control of that price by understanding order flow. By looking at acceptance, by looking at rejection, by looking at absorptions, by looking at new imbalances. Are we creating triple stack imbalances? Are we creating no imbalances? Is there, a shift in the book? Is the tape slowing down? Right? All those things. Is there a delta divergence? All those things now at that time and value will give you that confirmation for you to pull that trigger to enter the trade. And that's what completes this 3-pillar framework, guys. Right?
Exactly. Okay, Jay, do you want to go over the examples you wanted to show?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, pull out your little NAS thing.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So yeah, this
So,
is the trade, as you guys can see, right? Top ticket, literally, and then show them the P&L card.
and I don't have it here. I have to show it. I'll put the
Yeah,
I'll send you the image and you put it on the
we'll
thing.
edit on there
Yeah.
after the
And
video.
guys, like this is something like I'm still like basically like forward testing. I'm not even really trading this yet. Like this is my second day trading NAS, right? I put like 50 bucks on this account and I'm like, okay, let's risk like what, like $1 per trade, $2 and just like get start to
Like
learn how
actually
to
take
trade
action,
this.
and that's what I told
Yeah.
So guys, and he's a young student of mine, so he's not gonna be in the market risking thousands of dollars, right? So
Yeah.
I told him the best thing he could do is really live test it. You don't fuck the back testing. You don't need to back test, and demo trade and this and that. Y'all got $50 to put in the market. Come on now. If you're watching this
Yeah, guys.
video, come on, you have $50, $100 that you can actually live test and lose and make some money and be okay with, right? Be cool with.
Yeah.
It's not going to impact your life. It's not going to not make you have a next meal, right? It's not going to not make you help, fucking not pay the rent. Long as it's not that, then you can honestly live test it in the market. And that's the best advice I could give you, right? Just
And
live
guys, like,
test it. With
yeah,
small
and
amount, with
guys,
small amount. Don't go out there with live tested with $5,000. Don't do that, right? Obviously, that's how you blow up from the start. But live tested with small amounts that you can actually handle, right? Like $5 loss, that's a good lesson per pop. That's $5 lesson each time you take a smack. So take that as a good $5 lesson, right? So like that's the easiest
exactly.
way to think about it.
I mean, that's what I'm doing, right? I just want to risk $1 to $2, $5, whatever it is, and
Yeah,
then
to
be
make
like,
30,
hey,
40, $50. In this case, bro, you're taking
well,
about
yeah,
you
this is
know.
crazy. This one's
And even
crazy.
in this case, if you risk $2, you guys can see how much you can stretch that.
And bro, like guys, like even here, like it's not like I'm holding this all the way through. Like don't get the idea that I'm holding this all the way through. No, I had multiple areas in which I'm like, okay, break even, one stop loss, put one TP, whatever within this. So I'm not. It's not like it's really a 25 hour trade. That would be insane. But hey, this is the way I just leave a small runner, very little risk. Just as we talked about with the Sunday things, remember, Jay? Like it was inside
Yep.
the thing as
Yeah,
well. Leave a little
and
bit
then
of a
also
runner.
look at the plan that this is where I'll show you the plan that I shared in the Discord, guys. Okay, so I gave and I also shared on the X. So if you guys want to look at that, go follow my X too. But you guys can see here. I'll actually go click on the post so you guys can see. Okay, we'll go. Boom. Okay, what did I say? NAS higher time frame plans, time X value. Okay, let's go over it. So read what it says here. So
And that was 5 days ago, guys. This was on Sunday, right? So he said only possible way for us to be bullish is if we can accept back above the balance range with aggression with no absorption. So what does this mean? Bearish is bias until that condition happens,
yep,
right? So bearish is still biased.
yep.
Secondly, note that we lost balance range from OCT high, which means what? Which means we lost that balance range all the way from October. So that was a multi-month balance range that we were within. Secondly, next weekly open, if we swing again, then look for move back to value. So what does that mean? Hey, let's say we do a quick swing, and we're gonna look for
A
a
quick scalp
retracement
long,
back
exactly.
to value,
Exactly.
right?
And this will be your, short covering move back up, not a bullish rally, right? A short covering.
Yeah. And then we said once we reach then that value and rejects again, that is a sign to load short. So what's the idea? We went outside of value, we come back, we swing back into value, but we are at the value area low. And if we can reject that value area low, that means, hey, we're not going to get acceptance into value. We're going to get acceptance out of value. And
Yep.
that's where that pressure is going to come in.
And then
And what did he say afterwards? If we gap down off of the open, off the open through the level, equal mega short loading. So what does that mean? That means if we gap down off that value area low level, then you have to mega short it. That's it, right?
and then, come to today, right? Come to today. What are we seeing? All right, come to today, guys. Where are we? We're fully outside. And again, I'll show you guys on the same time frame, which is the 3-day time frame, which I can go back and show you guys here. Could be more clear here. I thought I had this chart up. I swear to God. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do it again. So same thing. I'll go to the 3-day, right? And then we were at a balance range from October to here before we broke. And you guys can see this is where I was telling you guys, look for that value break. We broke the value, right? We broke the value. And I told you guys to look for a retest back up to the value, right? And you guys can see this candle does open high back into the value. Exactly what I have said, right? If we break below and retest the value, what do we need to do? That's your
Look
mega
for that.
short, right? And I
Yeah.
said that 5 days before. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And look at where we are now. We're going through the levels that I have said that we're gonna hit. And look, this is the first level that I've given you guys on that even, where that post go. I don't even know where it went, bro.
We even know
Honestly.
where we're going.
Yeah, I lost that shit. But fucking yeah, from here. right? I told you guys we're gonna go through this level, right? Where are
Right.
we? We're done through that level, right? We're running through that level now, right? Doing track start. We're running through this level. So what does that mean? So even from here, what can you expect next week, bro?
I mean,
It
bro,
should not.
if we yeah,
This
if
should
we
not look
don't
good.
swing, if we don't
Exactly.
swing, then what else are we gonna do? We're gonna just get that push,
W-
another push to the downside, taking out that previous liquidity down there.
Yep. So the
Those
same
prior
concept
lows.
would apply here, right? You would need to now we're breaking bigger value, right? This bigger balance range pretty much from this whole range now, right? So now we're breaking this whole range. So the same theory can apply. If we can come back up next week, open high, retest and fail again and just straight gap down again. And that's what's going to start and set the move down for us to come back minimum to this level.
Hey guys, just a quick note. The balance range that we're talking about, there's two types. There's a market structure type balance range, in which
Yep.
it's based off of the way that the actual market is moving. As you see there, that range. Basic range,
Yeah.
everyone should know that. And we
Like
have the
that.
auction market theory. Guys, we talked about the auction market theory within the last video. So if you guys are still confused about that, guys, just like, it's
Like
right
this.
there. You know, like you
It's like
guys should
this.
be able
You
to
guys
check that
see
out.
this is a structural balance range, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what we call a structural balance range. And you guys can see the same applies. It goes through it, comes back, retest, and we get a clean break out of it. But also, that's just, that's your basic, that's just guesstimating it, right? But again, if you want to see the real volume range of this, and now we can pull it all the way to here since, we're there now, right? But you guys can
Yeah.
see we're clearly below that value now, just like I have said, it's going to retest that value and we're going to fail, right? And we have clearly done that, right? Break, retest, fail, right? Outside of that bigger value, which is this whole range pretty much, right? So we're outside of this value. We're completely outside of this value, right? And there's no strength looking whatsoever, right? It looks like we're about to set to be low here, right? It doesn't look like we're about to reject here, right? Already we can look at the behavior, and also of what's
Yeah.
happening on the order flow. And then look at the time. You know what I'm saying? It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, market closes. So if we do weekly close somewhere down here, then that really just means we're going to pop back up with the open high again, setting Monday range, Tuesday bullshit again. And it's going to send us right back down here with the quarter open. So it all lines up if that plays out, even with the
Oh,
bigger shift of time.
and that's the time shift. We also have a video on that. So really, there's a video on everything.
Exactly. So we're really giving you guys a full example of, what we really do, right? And
Yeah.
then to finish off the video, I'll go to my channel here, and then we'll start off with, week 3. Okay, we're in week 4 right now, right, guys? We're about to finish the quarter. We're in week 4, but this is I'll start from my analysis from Wednesday here, okay? From the week 3 Wednesday. So we'll go there, right? So this is where the week 3, that's Monday. So we're at the Monday, right? So again, that's your week 3 Monday range. So from this point, right? What am I looking at? So from this Monday range already, I'm already
We're looking
sitting
for
here.
if we're going to do an open high and if we are going to gap above it, or we're going to get absorption and fall
Exactly.
back into value.
Right. So if we look at Bitcoin here, what do? We try to get back, right? We try to gap back above the value area high, right? But we failed and rejected again. Right? So from that point, I'm already seeing the Monday range, right? We have the Monday candle. We have the Tuesday candle. What is that? So open high into where?
Into our value area high.
Value. So again, what do you have?
Now we have value
Time.
area high, which is the top of the yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
Time and price,
again,
yeah.
you have
Time and value, yeah.
time. You know when, right? That's again, what did I just tell you guys? You guys have to look at always the 3 things. You have to know when, which in this case, that's the week 3 fractal high. So that's a monthly high plus a weekly high. Monday, Tuesday is a weekly high, right? And then this is a week 3, week 1, week 2, week 3. You guys see they're both 3 fractal that we're failing off of. Quite literally, right? 1, 2, 3, week 1, 2, 3. And on the week 1, 2, 3, on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is what? Again, the 3rd fractal. And exactly on the 3rd fractal of the 3rd fractal, inside of that 3rd fractal on the 3rd 90, I said we're going to short it. Right? Back into where? From this point,
The
guys,
point of
look at it.
control.
back into point of control. So again, from Wednesday, from this point, I said our target is down here to the POC. Okay, so note that, guys. So now time passes. Time passes, time passes. Of course, we shorted it, right? Exactly at the top wick. Like I told you guys, it's not hindsight stuff. I'm taking all these things as I'm explaining it to people, forecasting it and taking it and managing it all at the same time, right? So now we come to this point, and you guys can see that Wednesday candle, exactly like I said, failed that value area high and started to expand downwards. And you guys can see the Thursday candle opened out here, right? And from this point, what do I note out to you guys? Read it for me, so my voice is going out.
Yeah, so we tried to gap back above the balance range high, but we rejected again and made a gap below. So what is that saying? Tuesday, we tried to gap above. Wednesday, we tried again. We failed it, and we made a gap below, which is what's happening right there on Wednesday, right? We're creating that new fair value gap. Okay, lose the gap, straight back into point of control. Hold the gap, plus a black, which is line that has to try again, push above the highs, which is those are your range lows, guys, right? So as we went over, we rejected the value area high with weekly fractal open high perfectly. Now looking to see if we get some reaction off the point of control plus trend line liquidity, right? Or
Which
trend
is
line
right here.
liquidation, right?
Yeah, so
Right
this
there.
is your trend line liquidity low here. So that was what I was targeting, plus the
The little gray line.
POC, right?
Yeah.
So I already gave you guys a clear target of exit on the short too. Okay, so mind you guys, we're in this short right now at this point. Like I said, we're in this short, right? So at that point, we're in the short, we're in the short, we're in the short. Also took the short on ETH too, bang. And then also took the, short on NAS too. Like I told you guys, we planned this all out and I take all these things, right? I expected these mega moves down, 20 on NAS, 20 on Bitcoin, 33 on ETH, right? And then as we go on, now we come here, boom. So we exactly came to Wicked. So tell me.
We came back down to those range lows, but I'm pretty sure afterwards we went to the point of control, right?
Exactly. We have one more
Okay.
push down into that point of control,
Yeah.
right? But exactly where we tick exact the trend line low that I told you guys, right? So that's your first major draw. Always. That's a clear draw. If you guys, use liquidity or whatever, that's the one thing that I would always use if I'm like looking at liquidity, right? Those trend line liquidities where we have gathered days worth of lick, right? And holding inside of this low, right? So that's a prominent target for them, right? That's holding right with the POC. But again, you guys can see at this point, POC shifted lower, right? POC was slightly higher, right? So technically our target at this point has been hit, right? But if I pull the value to this day now, the POC has shifted slightly lower, right? And then from this point, what did I say? We're going to have to expect the bounce to look for that Monday range to get created for the next week, right?
Yeah.
And then what do we get? Come to Monday now. We exactly bounce right off of that trend line liquidity low, right? We don't
And
close
then
below that, right?
then
That's
that point of
exactly the
control
target.
shifts.
Yep. And then point of control shifts up. And then we get that Monday range. Right. So again, I'm repeating the same thing as last week, guys, right? I'm looking at the Monday range. I'm looking at the Monday range. That's the weekly open. And what happens? I'm already telling people if we get open low and make a higher low, then we can expect us a bullish move. But again, that's not what happens. So we're going to do open high. If we get clear open high with the Tuesday candle into the gap, right? I'm already mentioning this gap here, plus this exact level of previous liquidation retest. And I already have video on that, guys. So if you guys don't know what that is, go watch it, right? So now I already said if we get Tuesday, Wednesday into this exact level, sweeping the Monday range high, then we need to short it. Clearly, we need to short it again back into the POC because I'm already expecting if we are up here, then POC is going to be shifting lower again. So I already expected the POC and the value area low is going to be, the near target again if we start to shift low, right? So I already said that on Monday, right? So now Monday comes, boom, Tuesday comes. I said what? Still pinned inside of the Monday range, chopping on the POC, right? And then what do I say? If we sweep Monday range, Wednesday candle plus rejects the gap plus the value area high, then need to short it back into the POC. I repeat it again, right? I make sure we need to short it back down to the POC and the value area if we wick up on the Monday range low. You see what I'm saying? Or high. You see what I'm saying? Making that range. So boom, what do we do on Wednesday? It happens, right? So now it happens.
Yeah.
I'm walking you guys every single day, right? It is all through it. I'm giving you guys the layout, every single update. This is, and you guys see how it plays out step by step from this point all the way to here and all the way back to here. I gave clear targets back and forth the whole time, right? And you guys can see that I'm documenting this. So, and you guys can see that I'm taking these trades, right? So I'm not just telling you guys hindsight ideas and things that I'm doing, right? It's all things that I apply, my students apply in real life. So look at this once again. Now I see that we clearly took out that Monday range, like I said, right? And we fill that gap plus that previous leg retest that I said we're going to do, right? Exactly at the previous leg retest, right? Plus the gap that I said that we will fail. And then what do? I say, now that's the short. It's confirmed for me, right? And then what happens? Oh, Campbell sucks all the way back down. So I give a confirm. I'm telling you guys, okay, this is about to play out. And then again, what happens? I'm giving another confirmation. Okay, guys, we're fully swinging off of it now. So this is, previous lick retest. Again, it filled the gap. It's failing the Monday range. It's going as planned, right? And then just before the drop on that day, what do I tell people at night? So
Tell people watch the third 90. Guys, coming next hour. Looks like we're gonna get some action.
So before 1 hour, before everything even happens, I'm telling people that we're going to have action. And I'm telling people, look for it to gap down on the third 90 for a push down. And guess what exactly happens right after that, guys? It gaps down and it has action. And I can see that 1 hour before it happens. And I'm showing you guys that I can do that consistently. That wasn't one example I just showed you guys, right? That's days and weeks worth of example I just showed you guys condensed in one, right? So
Yeah.
so it's not just
And
one day
guys,
example that I'm cherry picking and showing you guys. I'm doing this every day, every week.
listen, like this might seem very like complicated at the start, and it is, right? Because it's this is a
And
completely
then check
different
it
way
out,
of
guys.
viewing the
Look at
market,
this.
right?
Look how we be
But
punching. So
guys,
go on.
all of this analysis, right? I'm sure so many of his students, I mean, even me personally, maybe not the first half, right? Because that was crazy. His prediction there was insane. But after about the first few days, once we went to the Valley Area High, after that, my analysis that I was doing personally, when I was writing it down for myself, when I look back on his stuff, I'm like, okay, we're aligned. Why? Because I just applied this framework, right? And it's going to take time. It always takes time. I've been doing this with Jay for how long now? 8 months, Jay? 10 months?
So we gotta cut it short now. We gotta go.
Yeah, it's getting too long. But yeah, guys. Okay, you want to go back to slideshow, end it off?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was
Hey,
a
guys.
very, very informative video, guys. So make
Yeah.
sure you guys leave comment and ask us in the group, okay? And
Yeah,
leave
guys,
us a
be sure to
like
join.
and give us a follow, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
As always, peace.